channel. Today I decided to do something fun. I wanted to do a tag and I put in some questions into, I wanted to do a tag and I didn't know what tag to do, so I just went into Chatgpt and created my own tag. So this is really going to be about like lifestyle and content creation and maybe pregnancy even a little bit. So all of these questions are from Chatgpt, which I thought was really cool. And if you like this tag, feel free to do it and just tag me. So the first question, I have my phone here. The first question is, how do you balance your creative projects with family life? It's definitely hard. I think one of the things that has helped me the most has been time blocking. And if I don't like put it on my calendar or write it down, it kind of doesn't happen. So right now, for example, I have the next hour to create content. And I found that time in my day where I didn't have to be in a meeting or going to do an errand or something. So I put that in my calendar and I planned what I was going to film. So the next question, what's your current favorite way to unwind after a busy day? This is so funny this question came up because I just filmed a reel about what I like to do to unwind, being as I'm in my 3rd trimester. And honestly, my favorite things right now is just like making a raspberry leaf tea in the evening after dinner or so, getting into my PJs around 7 o'clock, super early. And then if I put Arlo down, right now he hasn't been here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it's just like grabbing a book and going into my bed with my pregnancy pillow and just reading. I think I have been scrolling on my phone so much in my 2nd trimester before going to sleep that I think it truly affected how I sleep. So now what I do is I literally have to put my phone in another room, like on the dining room table, and then go to my room and then just have my book. And I swear it makes me sleep better without having like a blue light or a screen in front of me before I'm falling asleep. So I have my tea, I'm winding down, I'm comfy, I'm in my pregnancy pillow, all supported. Pregnancy pillow plus another like 5 pillows. And then, yeah, just a really good book. The next question is, how has your approach to content creation changed over time? I think, honestly, it's about being consistent and understanding that content creation or the success of being a content creator doesn't happen overnight. And that's something that I struggled with for a long time, because I feel like I wanted to create a YouTube channel when I was in middle school or high school and I didn't, and I've waited like 12-15 years to do it. So now I felt behind, and that was discouraging as well because I felt like I was 15 years behind everybody else. But it's really not true. You can start at any point. The best thing is to commit to yourself and to start, instead of like really going in these like roller coasters of like, okay, I'm gonna post like 3 times a week and then not posting anything for 3 months. Just say like, I'm gonna post once a week on YouTube. For Instagram, I think it's a little bit more of a commitment. You have to post, I think, every single day if you truly want to grow your account, and that is what I have been doing. Next question is, what book are you currently reading and what drew you to it? I'm actually reading 2 books because I grabbed one from the library on my Kindle, which is Bright Young Woman. It's about a serial killer that like goes in, I believe, like a sorority house and kills a lot of women, and it's like the story of that. I just started that book, and then I just picked up Dracula, like a physical copy, because I have been wanting to read it for a very, very long time, because my husband is from Transylvania and I feel like I have to read something from is it Bram Stoker that wrote it? Stoker, something like that. So those are the 2 that I'm reading right now. Question number 5. How do you stay inspired and motivated as a content creator? I honestly think motivation is temporary in any situation, in any career or any lifestyle thing that you're doing. It is very easy to do something when you're motivated. It's really hard to do something when you're not. So for me, it's kind of really going back to my why when I'm not motivated. Like, why am I doing this? If I don't put this content out there, like, who am I failing? And it's really myself. I made a promise to myself to create the content or to make the video or to make the post, whatever it may be. And that kind of snaps me out of it pretty quickly. In terms of what I get my inspiration from, and it's really like other content creators, of course, things that are going on in the world or pop culture, or like I don't know, world events. For example, the word demure right now is like, I guess, popular. And I was like, what the heck is a demure? So I like literally had to Google that. And then I made a piece of content about it, like me Googling what demure means. And I felt like I was the only one, but I wasn't. I think a lot of millennials can relate to that. Like, we don't use the word demure and we had to learn what it means. And I still don't know what Brad Summer means. Next question, how do you incorporate your personal interests like reading into your content? I think I share kind of what comes naturally to me and what's going on in my life. So it's really hard to sometimes hide things that are going on in your life if it's just natural for you to share, like reading a book. So just channeling on the things that are going on. Sometimes I don't maybe share them in real time if it's something maybe more serious or maybe of a personal matter, and then I reflect back and then I share it. But I just find that it is pretty natural to incorporate the things that you're passionate about and that are going on in your life currently. So the next question is, what's your go-to productivity hack for getting things done? Honestly, setting a timer and time blocking. Literally setting a timer on your phone. I have this little cube that's actually really cute. It's good for kids too. And like, if you need to clean, if you need to create content, if you need to research something, like putting a timer for 10 minutes and just dedicating yourself to that one task for the next 10 or 15 minutes, whatever the timer is at. And you truly get a lot of things done if you really like focus in on one task. For example, you need to like clean the kitchen. Give yourself 10 minutes and just clean everything in the kitchen that you see, and then when the timer goes off, like wrap up, finish up, so then you feel productive that you did a portion of it. Probably you're gonna get most of it done, and then you're not like overwhelmed with all these different tasks that you need to do. The next question is, how do you prioritize self-care amidst a busy lifestyle? I do think in today's society, like the word busy, I'm just kind of over it. I've said this before, and let me kind of give you some context as to why. Everybody's life is busy. Like if you have kids, your life is busy. If you don't have kids, you have a career, you're busy. If you have like personal things going on with your family, you're busy. If you are going through something with a health challenge, you're busy. It's just like this whole thing of us being busy. I'm kind of over it. You make time for the things that matter to you. Busy or not, you'll make the time. So for me, prioritizing myself and self-care is truly important, and I force myself to do it. So I force myself to like wind down, read, for example, or go on a walk with my dog, or meditate, whatever it is. If I don't prioritize those things, I'm gonna kind of get more irritated and then be in a bad mood, which will probably lead to like me like exploding for something that was like such a minor thing, or burnt out, whatever it is. You have to just prioritize yourself, because if you are pouring from an empty cup, it's not good for you or anybody around you. The next question is, what's been your favorite project or piece of content that you created recently? Oh my gosh, I feel like the best advice I heard about answering this question is every piece of content, so your next piece of content that you're putting out should be your favorite. And that's how you should approach every single piece of content. Because if you're just throwing out garbage or something that you're like, oh, I'm just posting this to post, why are you doing that, right? So I think every single post that's coming up next is my favorite, because I am putting in the time and the effort to create it. Next question is, how has your lifestyle evolved since becoming a parent? Oh my god, I think it's completely different. I am so much more aware of like the things that I'm saying, I'm doing. I'm much more aware how I was parented. I'm aware of like all these subconscious programming that are running through my head, like questioning myself, where did I get this belief from? Why do I think the way I think? In terms of the day-to-day, it's kind of like all about, I think, the kids. Not all about them, but it is like centered around them. So like getting them ready, getting them fed, getting them into like an activity or doing something. Obviously before I became a parent, that wasn't the case. It was really all about what I wanted to do. Now you have kids, they're dependent on you. They need to like be guided, and you're their guide. So your lifestyle just really does change. Next question is, what's one thing you're doing differently in your content strategy this year? I think for me the word is consistency, and showing up. So I committed to posting on YouTube once a week. I'm doing that. I'm committing to posting on Instagram twice a day. Actually, just recently started that. I'm committed to that. And yeah, there's weeks, days that, you know, your content is off or it's not performing as best as you hoped it would, but it's not giving up. I think the only way to fail is to give up. The next question is, what's one piece of advice you'd give to someone balancing multiple roles like me? I am balancing a lot of roles. For me, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. At home, I work a 9 to 5. I run my own business online with high ticket sales. I create content and I do a lot of different things. So I think what I would say is really like focus on your top priorities. Like I heard this analogy one time, like you're kind of juggling all these balls, and some of these balls are glass balls and you just can't let them drop. So you need to identify what those glass balls are for you. So for me, it's like my family, my content creation, and any income producing activity. So I don't let those things drop. And the things that, for example, I do let drop is reading sometimes, or like cleaning my house. I'll have to like outsource that. And then the next question is, what are you doing differently in this pregnancy? I am doing so many things differently in this pregnancy. I think I'm not as stressed out. I'm not as anxious. I am really eating intuitively. With my first pregnancy, I was like, wouldn't touch sushi with like a 6-foot pole. Now I like eat sushi all the time. I like drink raw milk. I think the diet is one thing of it, but it does like flow into other parts of pregnancy because I am more relaxed. Of course, I'm still like very mindful about what I'm consuming for me and for the baby, but I'm not like stressing over the fact that I had, you know, tuna tartare at this amazing restaurant, because I know it's like a really good dish. And those little micro moments of not stressing and being anxious, I think has truly helped me this pregnancy be much more relaxed and present. And like, I can't believe that I'm in my 3rd trimester. I felt like this whole pregnancy went by super quickly. I know with your 2nd, and I'm sure 3rd, 4th, it just goes quicker than your 1st because you are running around after a child and you have so many other things that you're like focusing on. So you're not always thinking about, you know, is everything okay with the baby? Is this movement okay? Like, I didn't feel like the baby kicked for the past hour, but it's probably that you were distracted cooking a meal for the past hour or something like that. So I feel like for me, I'm just much more mindful this time around, and I really enjoyed this pregnancy a bit more than my first. My first pregnancy, I was very fortunate to have a really good pregnancy as well. But this time around, it's even better. With my first, I switched practitioners at 30 weeks because I didn't feel comfortable with the team that I had. And I'm so grateful I did that. And now I have the same doctor that I did, who delivered Arlo, and I've had them the whole time. So again, that makes me feel more relaxed. I just know going in that nothing is wrong, everything is okay. And yeah, I think that really makes me feel good. And the last question is, what is a goal that you're working towards in your personal or professional life? I think for me right now, there's like 2 things. Professionally, I'm really growing my social media, and here's my dog. You guys can see her nose. And really focusing on like content creation growth and community. In my personal life is truly focusing on like bringing a 2nd child into the world and making sure that I have a really good postpartum experience, because my first postpartum experience unfortunately was really, really bad. And what I'm doing differently to do that is I'm actually preparing for postpartum. With my first pregnancy, I prepared for the baby. You know, I had everything ready for the baby. I took all the courses, classes. That was my cat. But this time I'm really preparing for me, like making meals and making sure I have the support system and things like that. So I'm really excited to see how it goes.